When someone disrespects you, the most natural thing in the world is to react, to flare up, to speak before you think, to act before you understand. But that's exactly where most people go wrong. They lose control of themselves in trying to control the situation. The truth is, the moment you react emotionally to disrespect, you give the other person power over you. You allow them to dictate your inner state. And in doing so, you step away from your center, the very place where your strength lies. Disrespect is designed to trigger you. It's designed to pull you out of balance, because disrespect is not just about words, it's about energy. It's about someone pushing at your dignity, hoping you'll push back and reveal a weakness. But here's the ancient wisdom. Stillness is not weakness. It is clarity. It is dominance without noise. Anyone can react. Very few can remain calm in the face of insult and still carry the weight of their self-worth untouched. The ego wants to react. It wants to prove a point, defend a title, return fire. But ask yourself, what does that reaction really achieve? Does it restore your peace? Or does it simply drag you into a war of emotions, where no one wins? Think of the times you exploded in anger, only to regret it later. You may have won the argument, but you lost something deeper: your inner stability, your focus, your peace of mind. You are not responsible for the disrespectful behavior of others, but you are entirely responsible for your response. That response determines whether you rise or fall in that moment. Reacting emotionally is like pouring fuel on a fire. It might feel good in the moment, but it often leads to more destruction inside and out. Instead, learn the discipline of pause. That space between their action and your response, that's where your power is. In that space, you can choose wisdom over impulse. Imagine a storm. The winds rage, the thunder roars, but the mountain stands still, not because it doesn't feel the storm, but because it knows it is bigger than the storm. Be that mountain. Let the disrespect swirl around you, but don't let it enter you. Don't let it define how you show up. Don't let it dictate your behavior. When you don't react emotionally, you deny the other person the control they wanted. They wanted to see you shaken. They wanted to watch you crumble. But when you hold your composure, when your face is still and your voice is calm, they begin to see your strength. Not the loud, violent kind of strength, but the quiet, unshakable kind that can't be moved. It's important to realize that this kind of strength is not about suppressing your emotions. Suppression is pretending you're not hurt. But what we're talking about is transcendence, acknowledging your emotion, but not being ruled by it. You feel the heat, but you don't let it burn you. You feel the sting, but you don't let it poison your mind. You rise above it. You choose consciousness over chaos. There's a reason why martial artists like those in Shaolin tradition spend years training their breath, their reactions, their patience. Not so they can fight harder, but so they can respond wiser. Because the greatest fight is not against others, it's within. It's against your own urges, your own triggers, your own patterns of defensiveness. And in learning not to react emotionally, you are mastering yourself. Disrespect is a test. It's not about what was said. It's about what it awakens in you. Does it awaken the lower self that wants revenge? Or does it awaken the higher self that seeks mastery? That choice defines your path. Every time you stay composed, you build emotional muscle. You train your nervous system not to collapse. You teach your mind that not everything deserves your energy. And eventually, you reach a point where someone's opinion, someone's attitude, even someone's insult no longer touches your spirit because you've grown above the level at which it can reach you. So the next time someone disrespects you, let that be your cue. Not to explode, not to prove yourself, but to remain unmoved. Let them see your silence, let them feel your control. And in that silence, you will be louder than any insult ever could be, because the most powerful thing you can ever say is nothing at all. When someone disrespects you, It's tempting to meet them where they are, with sarcasm, with mockery, with coldness, with the same poison they gave you. It feels justified. They hurt you, so hurting them back feels fair. But fairness is not strength. Retaliation is not power. The moment you stoop to their level, you abandon your own character, your own growth, your own standard. You trade who you are for who they are, and in doing so, you lose far more than the argument. You lose a piece of yourself. We must understand one thing clearly. How someone treats you is their reflection, but how you respond is always yours. Disrespect often invites us to enter the mud, but even if the ground is dirty, you do not have to kneel in it. When you lower yourself to someone's bitterness, you allow their energy to dictate your behavior. They pull you into their storm, and instead of being the calm, grounded presence, you become part of the chaos. That is how emotional contamination works. It spreads by reaction. And so, the real discipline is elevation, not because you are better than them, but because you are better than the version of you who reacts out of hurt, who chooses ego over wisdom. You don't rise for them, you rise for you. Because your peace is more valuable than proving a point. Because your growth is more important than getting even. Some will speak to you with venom because that's all they know. Some will insult because it gives them a false sense of control. But ask yourself, do you really want to become like them just to feel like you've won? Victory is not found in matching their cruelty. It's found in refusing to lose your grace. You are not here to echo someone else's dysfunction. You are here to demonstrate emotional maturity, especially when it's hardest. Think of a mirror. If someone scowls into it, the mirror doesn't scowl back. It reflects, but it never reacts. Let others see themselves in your stillness. Let their behavior echo back to them. And when they realize you're not willing to engage in the same destructive pattern, that's when true power is revealed. Because now they are left alone with their own darkness, while you walk away untouched. It takes much more strength to walk away with dignity than to stay and trade insults. Don't fall for the illusion that silence is weakness, that ignoring ignorance means they've won. No, sometimes silence is a loud refusal. A refusal to become small, to become bitter, to become reactive. Silence, when chosen consciously, becomes your shield. And that shield protects not just your peace. It protects your future self from carrying unnecessary wounds. You don't need to compete with someone who has already shown you their values by how they treat you. And you don't need to respond to every low blow just because it was thrown. Let people see the difference between you and them. Let your poise be the evidence of your depth, because when the storm passes, and it always does, they will remember how calm you remained, not how loud you yelled back. In truth, some people want you to break character. They want you to lose your composure, because when you do, it gives them something to point at. It gives them justification for their own behavior. But when you hold your ground, not by fighting, but by not falling, they have nothing. Nothing to pull from you, nothing to twist, nothing to use. That's when you become untouchable. Never matching disrespect doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you feel deeply, but you're not willing to let those feelings control you. You've done the inner work to know that peace is not found in reaction. It's preserved through restraint. Let others choose their vibration, you stay rooted in yours, let them throw shadows, you keep walking in the light. In the end, it's not about proving who was right or wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you're growing. That you're not who you used to be, that you no longer need to shout to be heard or fight to be strong. You simply are, strong, steady, self-respecting, and nothing anyone says or does can take that away from you. Let their level be their own, you rise. There's a fine line between patience and permission. When someone disrespects you once, silence may be wisdom. It might be a choice to maintain peace, to preserve your energy, to rise above the moment. But when the disrespect becomes a pattern, when the tone shifts from sharp to toxic, and the words cut deeper each time, then silence stops being noble. it becomes surrender. Asterisk asterisk, you are not here to be anyone's emotional punching bag. Asterisk asterisk, too many people confuse inner peace with passivity. They think staying quiet is a sign of strength, and yes, sometimes it is. But when your silence starts enabling mistreatment, you are not being strong. You are allowing someone to chip away at your dignity while you stand still. There is a danger in becoming so calm, so composed, that you let people walk over you in the name of being spiritual or mature. Respect must be mutual, and when it is not, when someone repeatedly disrespects you, crosses your boundaries, and treats your kindness like weakness, it's no longer about being peaceful. It's about being honest. You cannot let people poison your space and then expect your soul to stay clean. You must decide when silence is protecting you and when it's betraying you. Every time you allow disrespect without response, you teach the other person how to treat you. Not by what you say, but by what you tolerate, and tolerance, when stretched too far, turns into quiet resignation, into bitterness, into inner conflict. You begin to resent the other person, but also yourself for not standing up when it mattered. There is nothing enlightened about allowing pain to repeat itself. If someone keeps disrespecting you, and you keep staying quiet, thinking they will eventually realize or change, you are living in a fantasy. Change does not happen without clarity. And clarity requires confrontation, not with rage, but with truth. A calm truth, a firm truth, a truth that says, "This is not okay, not anymore." You teach people how to engage with your spirit by how you respond to their treatment. And sometimes, the most powerful boundary is not a wall, it's a voice that says, "I see what you're doing, and I choose not to accept it anymore," not because you're angry, not because you want revenge, but because you value yourself too much to stay silent in the face of consistent harm. When disrespect is repeated, it is no longer a mistake. It is a pattern, a decision, and the longer you allow it, the more it becomes your pattern too, and the more difficult it becomes to reclaim your voice. That's why you must speak when the pattern starts, not when it's so far in that it's hardened into normalcy. Boundaries are not rude, they are necessary. Speaking up is not disrespectful, it's self-respect in action. People will try to convince you that you're overreacting, that you're too sensitive, that you should let it go. But remember, it's always the ones benefiting from your silence who want you to keep quiet. Let that truth sink in. You can be calm and still say, "This ends here." You can be composed and still say, "I will not allow this anymore." The strength is not in staying silent when you're hurting. The strength is in having the courage to address what's harming your peace, without becoming what hurt you. There is no virtue in suffering quietly. Wisdom is knowing when to let go, and when to speak up. When someone shows you who they are through repeated behavior, believe them. And believe yourself enough to act on it, because the cost of unspoken pain is heavy. It will weigh on your spirit, your self-esteem, and your future interactions. You are allowed to outgrow people who refuse to treat you with respect. You are allowed to create space between you and those who cross lines without apology. And you are allowed to protect your energy without guilt. Silence can be golden, but not when it's covering up a bleeding wound. Truth must be spoken where pain is repeated. Respect is not just something you give, it's something you must also demand, not through force but through boundaries. Through truth, through refusing to stay quiet just to keep the peace, when the peace has already been broken by repeated harm. Let your silence speak only when it protects your peace, not when it protects someone else's comfort at the cost of your dignity. One of the deepest traps we fall into after being disrespected is the desire to prove ourselves, to seek validation from the very person who hurt us. We want them to see our worth, to take it back, to apologize, to recognize us differently. But here's the truth. Validation that must be begged for is never real validation. And the moment you look to someone who disrespected you to define your value, you hand over the power that belongs only to you. It's a quiet form of self-abandonment. You ignore what you know to be true about yourself, and instead begin to crave acknowledgement from someone who has already shown you they're unwilling, or perhaps even incapable, of honoring you. And that craving, that longing to be seen in a better light, slowly turns into dependence. You shape your self-worth around their changing moods, their shifting opinions, their limited perception. But here's the reality you must wake up to. Asterisk asterisk, someone who disrespects you has already misjudged you. Asterisk asterisk. They've chosen a lens that filters your light through their own unresolved darkness, and trying to convince them to see you clearly is like wiping a mirror that's never been yours. Their misunderstanding of you is not your burden to fix. It is not your responsibility to change someone's distorted view. It is your responsibility to remember who you are asterisk asterisk, especially when someone else forgets asterisk asterisk. Seeking validation from the one who disrespected you creates a cycle of emotional imprisonment. You become a performer on their stage, constantly trying to be enough, to be good, to be noticed, to be liked. And every time they withhold that approval, it cuts a little deeper. It's not just what they said, it's the silence that followed. It's the coldness, the dismissal, the lack of care. But what hurts more than their behavior is the hope you place in it. The hope that maybe, just maybe, they'll change. But you can't build your worth on someone else's awakening. You can't tie your self-esteem to someone's ability to treat you well, because that ability has nothing to do with your value. It only reflects their own emotional maturity. Their disrespect doesn't mean you're unworthy. It means they haven't grown enough to honor what's in front of them. And asterisk asterisk, you must not shrink yourself to stay visible in their eyes asterisk asterisk. You were never meant to live your life in the shadow of someone's approval. That's a slow death of the spirit. You are meant to stand in your own truth, even if that means standing alone. And when you stop seeking validation from those who belittle you, something powerful happens. Your own voice starts to rise. You begin to see yourself not through the lens of judgment, but through the clarity of self-respect. You are not here to earn your worth. You are here to remember it, to protect it, to live in it. And when someone shows you, through repeated words or actions, that they don't respect you, your job is not to convince them otherwise. Your job is to walk in your dignity and asterisk asterisk, let your absence speak what your presence no longer can asterisk asterisk. Validation that comes from within cannot be taken by anyone outside of you. It is quiet, but it is unshakable. And it is this kind of validation, the kind rooted in self-awareness, self-compassion, and truth, that frees you from emotional slavery. You no longer need someone's apology to find peace. You no longer need someone's praise to feel worthy. You no longer chase the people who walked away from your value, because you know that your worth doesn't move based on who stays or leaves. This is your liberation, realizing that not everyone will see you clearly, not everyone will understand you, not everyone will appreciate your heart, but that doesn't change the essence of who you are. What you carry inside you is not up for negotiation. So stop knocking on doors that closed with disrespect. Stop revisiting wounds, hoping the same hands that cut you will be the ones to heal you. Healing is your job, growth is your responsibility, and peace is your reward when you stop waiting for validation and start living in truth. You owe it to yourself to rise without asking for permission. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to take it personally, to internalize it, to overthink every word, every action, and start wondering if maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe you weren't enough, maybe you deserved it, maybe, just maybe, you should have done something differently. But this is where the truth must cut through the noise. Asterisk asterisk, their disrespect is a reflection of them, not you asterisk asterisk. We live in a world where people project what they carry. If someone is full of insecurity, they'll try to make you feel small. If someone is wounded, they may lash out instead of healing. And if someone is used to being in control, they may try to dominate you to feel powerful. None of that has anything to do with your worth. Disrespect is not always about the one receiving it. It often reveals more about the mindset, values, and emotional state of the one giving it. We forget this in the heat of the moment. We confuse the pain of the disrespect with its truth. Just because it hurt doesn't mean it was valid. You could be the most honest, loyal, kind-hearted soul, and someone who is unhealed or threatened by your light will still try to dim it. Not because of who you are, but because of what they can't face within themselves. Their behavior is often a mirror of their own chaos. Your job is not to hold the mirror. Your job is to not become their reflection. You can't control how someone treats you, but you can always control what you believe about it. When someone speaks down to you, tries to embarrass you, or constantly pushes your boundaries, they are broadcasting their emotional immaturity. It is not a commentary on your value. It is a loud signal of how disconnected they are from their own integrity. Strong, self-aware people don't go around disrespecting others, because those who are secure in themselves don't need to belittle anyone else to feel important. Sometimes disrespect comes from people who are secretly envious. Sometimes it comes from those who feel powerless and try to gain that power through control or criticism. Other times, it comes from people who have never seen what true respect looks like, and so they can't give what they've never known. But regardless of where it comes from, it should never become your burden to carry. You must stop making someone else's behavior your identity. You are not what they said in anger. You are not the joke they made at your expense. You are not the silence they used to ignore your feelings. You are not the passive-aggressive remark, or the dismissal, or the eye roll. You are so much more than what one broken person decided to project onto you. And once you recognize that, everything shifts. You no longer ask, what's wrong with me? You begin to ask, what must be going on within them for them to act this way? That small change in perspective takes you out of the role of the victim and places you back in your power. It stops the cycle of over-identifying with the hurt and starts a process of healing that isn't dependent on anyone else changing. The danger of not realizing this is that you may begin to shrink. You may start to dim your own light just to avoid future disrespect. You may begin to question your voice, your presence, your truth. And slowly, you lose connection with your authentic self, not because you changed, but because you believed someone else's distorted view of you. Don't fall into that trap. Don't let one person's inability to respect you define how you see yourself. Keep reminding yourself, their disrespect is about them. It is born from their lens, their wounds, their fears. Let it go where it belongs, back to them. Don't carry it home in your heart. Don't let it echo in your mind. Your peace, your value, your essence, these are too sacred to be shaken by someone who hasn't even figured themselves out yet. And while forgiveness is powerful, clarity is essential. You can forgive someone for the way they treated you, but you must also recognize the deeper truth behind their actions, so you don't absorb false guilt. Free yourself from needing their understanding. Free yourself from waiting on their apology. Their silence doesn't define your worth. Their ignorance doesn't erase your truth, and their lack of respect does not erase your right to be respected. In the end, the most liberating thing you can do is stop looking for validation in the eyes of someone who sees you through the lens of their own distortion. You are not here to explain yourself to broken mirrors. You are here to walk in the truth of who you are, clear, grounded, whole. Let them carry their disrespect. You carry your self-respect. One of the most dangerous effects of being disrespected isn't what happens in the moment, it's what stays with you afterward. Long after the words are said, the tone is thrown, the silence delivered, the memory remains. And if you're not careful, their energy begins to live inside you, not just as a memory, but as a residue. It starts shaping how you feel, how you show up, how you speak to yourself. And that's when the disrespect becomes even more harmful, because now, it's no longer coming from them, it's echoing from within. You replay what happened over and over. You think of what you could have said, what you should have done. You try to make sense of it, hoping to find clarity, but what you're really doing is carrying their energy in your spirit. And the longer you hold on to it, the more it drains you. Not all wounds are visible. Some are emotional toxins that live in the corners of your soul, whispering self-doubt, anger, confusion, or shame. But you must understand this truth. ***, just because someone gave you their energy doesn't mean you have to keep it. ***. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means releasing your attachment to the pain they caused. It means refusing to let their behavior dictate your future mindset. Because what they did is their choice, but what you carry is yours. And when you allow someone's disrespect to take up space in your heart, your joy begins to shrink. You don't laugh the same, you don't trust the same, you don't dream the same. Their energy lingers like a shadow over your light. You must cleanse yourself emotionally, not for them, but for you. Cleanse yourself of the tension, the tightness, the mental loops. Don't let their energy become your new baseline. You were made for peace, not constant inner war. Some people walk into your life like storms, but that doesn't mean you have to stay drenched forever. At some point, ***, you need to stop reliving the thunder and start rebuilding your own calm. ***. Take your power back by disconnecting from the story. You are not what happened, you are not what they said, you are not how they made you feel. That was a moment, not a definition. That was an interaction, not your identity. And while it may have hurt, while it may have confused you, it doesn't get to linger unless you let it. So stop watering the memory with your attention. Stop feeding the story with your energy. Let it wither. Let it pass. You see, healing isn't just about moving forward. It's about not dragging what broke you into the future with you. If their energy still lives inside you, then even in their absence, they still control a part of you. You deserve to be free. Free to feel peace without tension. Free to walk into new relationships without old fears. Free to speak without flinching at imagined judgments. But you cannot get there if you're still haunted by the weight of what they left behind. This is where intentional release matters. Sometimes that means journaling. Sometimes it means talking it out, crying it out, breathing it out. Sometimes it means looking in the mirror and saying, I no longer carry what they gave me. Speak your release. Practice your freedom. Reclaim your emotional space. And when the memory rises, as it will, remind yourself again and again. ***, I do not belong to that moment anymore. That moment does not belong in me. ***, you don't owe anyone your peace, but you do owe it to yourself to protect it. If someone comes into your life and disrupts it with disrespect, it's your responsibility not just to set a boundary with them, but to set a boundary with what they left behind. Don't entertain thoughts rooted in their darkness. Don't let their pain become your pattern. Don't let their coldness change your warmth. ***, you were not built to carry someone else's chaos. ***. Forgiveness isn't just for them, it's for you. It's your way of saying, I refuse to let this moment define me. I release it. I reclaim my light. Let them go in your spirit. Close the door not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, energetically, and fill that space with something new. Peace, purpose, strength, joy. Not bitterness, not confusion, not regret. Because the truth is, the moment you truly let go of their energy, you rise. You become weightless. You become yourself again, unbothered, untangled, unchained, and there is no greater victory than walking forward with nothing in your heart but freedom.